Good morning, Big Weir, Roota.com with your morning hornesies, your sip of coffee. Just want to talk about three Amigos video we did last night. Very fun, crazy fun. We got deep into the Clif's woo-woo world. Talks about the origins of man and bloodlines, and we get into the cryptos, we get into silver. There's not many topics we didn't at least touch upon. The FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We talk a little bit about some of the chaos that's going on lately. I know a lot of people are feeling it because they email me all the time. I can't get back to most emails. I'm sorry, but it's impossible, and it distracts. It's why I took the comments down from my videos. I want to remind everybody these comments weren't up for very long in the first place. And the reason I don't have comments is not because I can't fight differing opinions. Sometimes I love to do that, and I will go into some comment section somewhere and fight the fight. Most of the fights against me, I can fend off pretty well because the Roota theory is something different. It's something that I figured out starting in 2007 that there are people within the government, within the Federal Reserve, planning to take down the banking system and take out the banksters and the bad guys that control our lives. And I know you don't see a lot of it in the mainstream because it wasn't mainstream. This was all being done behind the scenes. The clues and hints started at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston through a guy named Stephen Duveau and a comic book called Wishes and Rainbows and the teacher's guide called The Road to Roota. So that's where Road to Roota came from. It's not, I didn't invent it. But the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston hasn't come after me for copyright infringement or anything. Because I'm on their side. Absolutely. I do think we need to destroy the bankers and destroy those people who control our lives. And yes, the Road to Roota theory has drifted and faded from what, just as the Federal Reserve, I think's plan for us has faded from moving to a gold standard, which was the best alternative all throughout history up until the invention of the cryptocurrencies. And it's pretty clear to me that they are leaning more towards, hey, we don't really need to go back onto a gold standard. We can use gold, but we can also use these cryptocurrencies and use them as a means of exchange, because the problem with gold and silver as a means of exchange, other than coins in your pocket, is we live in a technological world where transactions, you need to buy stuff in China, and shipping an ounce of gold over there that you physically ship, it would delay the process. And then if you use digital representations of gold and silver, you got to rely on a third party. And the reality is we don't need to rely on a third party with the cryptos. Some cryptos are trying to have some, super nodes where they control the node that all transactions need to go through a super node. I think that, and that's fine. Anybody can try to do that and go for it. It doesn't ruin the decentralized nature of everything else that's being done in the crypto space. And there are those Bitcoin purists who say, it's only Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the only cryptocurrencies. Everything else is just fake, and they just don't understand that their companies being built. We need to change a lot of things about our system, not just the money, not just the monetary system, but the way we do business. And the way we do business should be in a more truthful way, a more honest way, and blockchain technology, Bitcoin blockchain, Ethereum blockchain, any blockchain that is decentralized and open source, all that stuff. If it's reliable and we can verify it, I think that's what people will be looking for, and we need to inject that into our economy, into the way we do business in the future, and that's what the whole crypto craze is all about. One, changing the money, and two, changing the way humanity interacts with each other on the commerce basis. I think it's awesome. It's great. It is going gangbusters. I don't think there's anything that can stop it now. So I'm excited about our future once again. Now, what will happen when the banks crash and the system goes down? I don't think it'll be a one moment thing. I'd wanted, before the cryptos came around, I wanted that one moment where everything crashes and voila, the Federal Reserve and the Treasury announced, so we're going on to a gold and silver standard since we have all this gold in the Great Canyon, all this gold at Chocolate Mountain, all this gold everywhere. And we do have it. It is absolutely out there, and anybody can, disagree with me, go ahead, but do it in your own comment section. Make your own videos. Everybody who's mad, and there's not a lot of people. There's like a handful of people who are mad I took the comments out because that was their place to vent what they had to say. Start your own YouTube channel. It's free to start a YouTube channel and vent away. Have a day, and tell us what I'm still waiting for. And I threw this challenge out a couple weeks ago, and I really haven't heard any answers. Those who hate the cryptocurrencies and think gold and silver are our only money, please explain to us how we will transition to a gold and silver monetary system. And 99% chance it involves a third party storing gold, issuing credit cards with gold. In a system like that, you need a third party, and that gets back to trusting that third party, trusting government. Whereas with the cryptos, you don't need a third party. You can do it peer-to-peer transactions. It's absolutely verifiable. It is truth and honesty machine. So when someone gets back to me and says, here's how a transition onto a gold standard would work, Bix, and this works, and it's verifiable, and we don't have to rely on a government, and we don't have to rely on anybody storing our metal, and this is how we're going to train humanity to use a gold and silver standard, and here I'm going to be in charge. Who's going to be in charge of that chart? So please, you gold and silver bugs only, everybody who thinks just gold and silver, please make a video. I'll share it with everybody. If it's good enough that, oh my God, that's how it's done. That's how we'll transition out of this old system into the new gold and silver only standard. I'll put it up and I'll promote it. I'll say, hey, this guy had the answer. This lady had the answer. This is the answer to this big problem that if our current monetary system goes down, we won't all die. There will be a constant flow of food and water and transportation and information, and the crashing system won't even affect us because we have gold and silver to save us. Please post that video so I can post it to everybody else, but I haven't seen it yet. And those of you who claim that the cryptos are bad and gold and silver are the only answer, it's up to you, my friend. Prove your point. Prove it to me. And I'm open for that. I'm looking for answers. I made the cryptocurrencies prove that they were an answer for the transition, and hey, people sent me videos, people explained it to me, and I get it. And yeah, they were right, so I promote it. If the gold and silver people are right, gold and silver only, let me know how it's going to work. Is it Steve Mnuchin who's going to give out whatever gold he finds in Fort Knox? How's it going to work? Is it going to be a backed system where we have dollar bills, U.S. dollar bills, and they're representative of gold and silver that's sitting in a vault and you can go cash it in? That was my take originally, would be the plan, and the Fed's take, because that's what they showed in their comic books. But can it work? Do we have enough gold and silver? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody believes me about the Grand Canyon. Why would they believe that there's any gold in Fort Knox? And who has that gold? You talk about centralized power. Ask your local neighbors how much gold and silver they have, and if they don't own it, and it's the mining companies or even owners of mining shares that are been rehypothecated 1,000 times, who's going to be able to prove that this amount of gold is in my possession? And oh, by the way, I'm going to start a new monetary system using gold and silver without killing millions of people. I'm waiting. Make it happen. And I expect to get, a few videos on this. I haven't seen them yet. Nobody's sent me a video explaining it. So please, there's your challenge, gold and silver lovers. Make a video, explain us, walk us through how we go out of this old unbacked fiat monetary system into a gold and silver based system without causing chaos. And I will love you to death. Hey, I want to talk today really about this, the Road to Roota website, roadtoroota.com. A quick overview of what the website is. Right here on the left is the subscription area for the free emails. I call it the public road. Put in your name and email address, and you'll get a welcome thing. You got to click to join, and then you will get sent a free book, a PDF book, my first book called Silver, Gold, Bitcoin, and God. And yes, I have been writing about Bitcoin for quite a few years now, and all my books include, every single one of them, I believe, include talk of Bitcoin and how it changes. It changes from something that it was, hey, this might be something, to something that is, oh my God, this could change the world, which is where we are now. But I want to quickly, if you're looking to subscribe to the private road and get that coin, that silver coin that was on the 3 Amigos video, that's what it'll come. It comes with one PPT token too, a Populous token on a paper wallet. Don't bother scanning that code. It's not loaded, but that's what yours will come looking like, and it's loaded, and there's the coin. Really cool coin. They're all numbered at the bottom. Double strike, so you can really see Roota and the Silver Brick Road, and you can even see right here the cave in the side of the Grand Canyon where all this gold is hidden. Millions and millions and billions of ounces. So says the New York Times. So says all the documentation I've been able to glean. Yes, there's a lot more gold out there than they're telling you. And that's what you get with your Road to Roota subscription. It's $299 per year. And you can get it using PayPal right there, or Bitcoin. If you send me Bitcoin, make sure you send me your name and address so I can send you the coin. Because if a Bitcoin transaction will just come over as you got Bitcoin from my Coinbase account, or wherever it was sent from, and it won't tell me anything else. So make sure you send an email to bix@roadtoroota.com and say, hey, I just sent you Bitcoin. Here's my name and address. Set me up. I'm excited about the Road to Roota. That's all you have to do. All right. So, but on the website, all this top information under Road to Roota letters right here, it's all free, and there is a lot of information there. And there's the archives right there at the bottom, Road to Roota letter archives, and there's all your archives, all these letters, including there's things you can buy at the general store, checklists. That's an old article I wrote for if there's an EMP or something like that, a checklist of what to be ready for. JP Morgan Operation Silver Slam is the 2011 Slam of Silver, how JP Morgan orchestrated it, put Bill Daley as Obama's chief of staff right before it came. It breaks it down there. Your silver pacifier, if you're kind of tired of waiting for silver, breaks down why you're in it in the first place, why you invested in silver. I would say there's two reasons: the supply-demand situation and the fact that it's been manipulated for 150 years. Trump and silver, Veritasium, when the Veritasium was smashed. I love Veritasium. It's not traded really very widely. It's traded on one exchange, Ether Delta. And there's a little tiny exchange that nobody uses. But Ether Delta trades it, and it's highly manipulated, highly volatile. And remember, these traders and manipulators make money on the up and the down, so they're going to make it go like this. Until Veritasium gets on a different kind of exchange. Clif had even talked about Veritasium going on a stock market. That would be kind of cool, and Reggie's our guy for that. And the announcements about the Jamaican Stock Exchange and another top 10 stock exchange, Veritasium, injecting some truth and honesty in that stuff, that'll be pretty big in my opinion. Especially, you look at the top 10 stock exchanges, I think 9 and 10 are the Toronto Stock Exchange and the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Those are monster exchanges, and if Reggie's talking to those guys, you imagine the visibility of that. Very exciting times for Veritasium, but it's one of those things you need to understand it and learn why it's so volatile. They won't let. I think Clif thinks it would be hard for Veritasium to trade on a major exchange. He said the code is more complicated on the Ethereum ERC20 token and things like that. I would say that the other exchanges don't want to trade Veritasium because Veritasium can fairly easily invent their own exchange and take all the business away from the criminal crypto exchanges that deal in a pool, whereas Veritasium is a peer-to-peer type of contract. So you have some silver, I have some cash, I'll give you the cash, you give me the silver, here's our Veritasium contract, approval and authentication and everything that is involved there, and it's much easier. So yeah, the exchanges don't want that. The online wallets don't want that because they deal in the pool situation like Mt. Gox did. When Mt. Gox went down, they were trading millions and millions of Bitcoin every day. And then we find out at the end of the, when this all happens, they lost 650,000 Bitcoin. Well, how were they trading millions of Bitcoin every day if they only had 650,000 Bitcoin? Remember, it's a volume thing. And as long as it's fractional reserve, as long as people aren't pulling their Bitcoin out of the exchange and back onto the blockchain, they can trade as many times as they want. And that's what was going on. It's still going on. That's why China, the volume in the Chinese exchanges has gone down to almost nothing when it was like 7 million Bitcoin a day and things like that, because these aren't blockchain transactions. And China, the government in China came in and cleaned that up because they have huge plans for implementing Bitcoin blockchain technologies into their economic system and getting rid of the US dollar and all the fiat money that does nothing but harm. So really exciting in China. There's a whole bunch of things I'd tell everybody. Go to Golden Secrets. If you want to know why I keep talking about gold in the Grand Canyon, go to Golden Secrets, and it'll show you. If you click on this right here, there you go, with a whole bunch of stuff about, these are my first revelations about the findings of so much gold in the world, so much more than the 180,000 tons that people like Jeffrey Christian will tell you, and Goldfields Mineral Services. They're the guys who invented it. And it was Harry Oppenheimer, De Beers Diamonds guy, who basically said, hey, if we tell everybody there's less gold in the world, they'll think it's more valuable. Big conspiracy. Read Peggy and Sterling Seagrave's books. Read about gold in the Grand Canyon in here. All kinds of Yamashita's gold. Great stuff in here. And it just really scratches the surface. What happened at Chocolate Mountain Military Base. The gold in Chocolate Mountain, 1994. Dianne Feinstein was knee-deep in it. If you look at the amount of desert wildlife that Dianne Feinstein has sequestered in California, in the California gold country down south, millions of acres. Unbelievable how much land she has sequestered. As a matter of fact, California, I think it's only 41, California owns 41% of the land. The rest is owned by the U.S. government and the federal government within California. That's crazy. So, but there's been articles. There's, the spokesman for the National Association of Mining Districts in the 90s came out and said, oh, they're stealing all our gold, because they found a massive amount of gold at Chocolate Mountain, and they locked it up in a military base. And that's what you'll find all around. And then, of course, the Grand Canyon. Gold was found there in I think it was 1908 or 1909. Smithsonian went out there, and it's been locked up ever since. It is the reason, I believe it's the reason for the Federal Reserve being created in 1913, was that if you introduce this amount of gold into the system, it will destroy the monetary system. And here's one of the pictures, one of the pieces of evidence of the gold in the Grand Canyon. Here is the front page. On June 19th, 1912, notice the date, right before Woodrow Wilson approved in 1913 and signed the Federal Reserve Act. Tell of vast riches in the Grand Canyon. Men engaged in gold dredging operations. They spent millions sending dredges and big barges into the Grand Canyon. It was crazy. And it talks about billions of ounces of gold in the side of the canyon, billions of ounces of gold in the sand and the silt. And very specific. You can go find all these places, but you can't go to the exact spot. That has been cordoned off, and it is a no-go zone within the Grand Canyon, and has been since the early 1900s. It is estimated over 90% of the caves in the Grand Canyon have never been explored by humanity. That's because the U.S. Marines are there to guard it, and there is a military base within the Grand Canyon. There are many conspiracies going on in the Grand Canyon, including the removal of all kinds of Egyptian artifacts. They don't want you to know. It's the grand, what is it called? The Smithsonian conspiracy. And you can find out all the information you want and do the research yourself. I've done tons of research on gold in the Grand Canyon. I had started a book on it, but I don't think it will be all that important. And I think by the time I finish the book, everybody will kind of know, hey, there's a hell of a lot more gold out there than they're saying. I'm not saying gold's going to be less valuable, because there's a hell of a lot more fiat monetary instruments. In dollar terms, gold is massively valuable. I think in terms of silver, I think it's hands down, silver will surpass gold in a one-for-one price at some point when the manipulation ends. And that's why I hold on to silver. And I will continue to promote silver, and I will continue to give out silver coins to anybody who signs up for the Road to Roota, the private road area, along with a PPT token, because I think that token will be doing very well. It's a business. It's a business, and it's a really exciting business. So, yeah, that's the story, but make sure you go to roadtoroota.com, check it out if you want to. Right there, right at the top, is the second free book. I forgot I'm giving that away, too. Second free book is called Out of the Darkness, and you can just go there, and right here is the PDF. How easy is this? And then you click on that, and it should come up. It's fairly long, apparently. There it is, Conversations with God about Gold and Silver book series, Out of the Darkness. And it goes through all kinds of things that may interest a lot of people. I think let's take a look at the table of contents, and it's done in that format that Donald Walsh did his books, the Conversation of God with God books. Talks about the crash, chaos in the transition, market rigging, the derivative problem, banking basics, reallocation of money. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Bitcoin to the masses, what if we knew, cycles of life, silver goes nuclear, live to work or work to live, technology and workarounds, all you need is, question mark, the four senses, musicians and artists and superstars, the Smithsonian conspiracy, really cool stuff, what's hidden in the Grand Canyon, the best policy, darkness in the transition, and then there's a lot here. There's a lot here. And here's the method it's written in. Time in the crash. Hello, God. It's been a while. God says yes. If you keep watching, if you keep a watch on time, what do you mean? Why have you been watching the clock so closely these days? Are you expecting something to happen on a certain time frame? Really cool. I think it's really cool the way this came out, and that's the way it did. It did come out. I don't really feel like I wrote it. It just came out. Of course, I wrote it, and I was. It's my thoughts involved here. But it came out in a very clear way to explain all this crazy stuff we're living through. So yeah, and it's free. Can't beat that. And then there's 2 more books I wrote after that I think are $20 and $25 if you're interested. So that's it for today. And make sure you listen to this interview. Go to J. Snip Forbes' webpage or YouTube page, The Three Amigos, August 2017. And I know it's over 2 hours long, but it was such a fun conversation. We just couldn't stop. And I think you'll enjoy it. If you're into any of this stuff, keep it open mind. You don't have to agree with everything, and don't get so angry in Joe's comment section. We're all in here trying to figure out life. And Clif was one of the smartest people I know, so just sitting and listening to him on life is worth the time and energy. This is Weir. We'll talk to you later.